Hey everyone, thanks for listening to the Grow Your Life podcast. My name is Jeremiah Krakowski, and if you haven't listened to this podcast before, we talk about ways for you to grow in your life and in your business to reach your goals. Listen, you don't need to struggle. If you're living in 2021, there are so many resources for you, and this podcast puts together the best resources that you need for your mindset, as well as strategies for your business to reach your goals faster. Listen, if you're not in the hashtag Grow Your Life Facebook group on Facebook, join it. There's over 1,500 people in there just like yourself that are growing in their life and in their business every single day. As well, I wanted to point this out here, just kind of a shameless plug before we get started. Listen, my Facebook ads course, I've updated it. All about iOS 14.5. It has updates on what you need to do to make your ads work. Whether you bought it before, if you already bought the course from me, you already have the updates. If you haven't yet, I actually have a $1 trial. You can try the course out for $1 right now on my website, so be sure to check that out. Now today, we're going to talk about the 3 steps to reaching every single goal that you have. And this comes from something that I've been studying over the years, thousands of hours of research, coaching hundreds of business owners. And really, yes, there's a lot of steps to reach our goals, right? But there's 3 things that most commonly come up when we coach with people, when I talk to people, when I'm working with people that seem to decide if they can progress forward or if they're going to be stuck. Okay? And so those 3 things are this. But before I go into that, I'm going to say this. Have you ever thought about building a business? Have you ever wanted to put yourself out there? Have you ever taken a risk on something and then you hesitated because you worried about how you would look to other people, or the feedback you get, or how it would work out, or if it would pan out the way you wanted? Most of us hesitate to make big changes in our lives because we're afraid of how it affects how other people view us. We're afraid to put ourselves out there. We're afraid to show up as our authentic selves and do the thing that's going to change our lives based on trying to conform. And conformity is one of the main reasons why we don't change our lives, because our goal is going to require us to develop new habits. And when we break old habits, it breaks the system. It kind of puts a glitch in the matrix just a little bit, and everything in our brain as well as our lives. Because think of it this way. You're this person right here, and then you change your life to build a business, to lose weight, to start a relationship, grow personally, anything, any goal you have, by the way. And then you put a glitch into that goes against everything of how you've lived your life up to this moment in time. Literally violates the laws of nature for your life. Things start coming in negatively when we start hearing from other people around us what they think about it. And so, listen, I'm not going to tell you what you should do. I'm not going to tell you what you need to do, but I'm going to tell you that you need to stop worrying about other people, how they see you, and start making decisions that benefit your life. And those are the 3 steps to reaching every goal that you have. You have to stop worrying about other people's opinions of you. Easier said than done, right? You have to enjoy making mistakes. Like, not just be okay with it, love it. Love messing up. Love falling flat on your face. Love failing. Love sucking. Love things not going how they should. And then you develop perseverance to keep moving forward. When you got all the negative opinions from everybody around you, when you're constantly failing and messing up consistently, and you develop that discipline and that tenacity and that ability to keep moving forward. If you can have these 3 things, you develop them. And these are things that I've cultivated in myself. These are things that every successful person that you know, that you can look at, has cultivated inside of themselves. I want you to think about that. Let's just think for a moment. Somebody that you know, could be me, could be somebody else that you know, or you don't know, somebody that you look up to, that you respect. that has been successful, that has reached a goal, that maybe you have. What's a goal that you have? Paying off debt, buying a car, buying a nice house, whatever it is, whatever goals you have. You can leave it in the comments. We're actually streaming this live while I'm recording this to my social media. I'm thinking of doing this more often, live recording my podcast, even though it goes live the next week, streaming it to people to get some feedback from people. What are the goals that you guys have? If you're watching this right now, whatever goal you have, the people who have reached those goals did so with these 3 steps. They didn't worry about other people's opinions of them at all. What other people think about you is not your responsibility. If you want to accomplish your goals, you need to follow your heart and do what makes you happy. And stop thinking about the opinions of everybody else around you and focus on being yourself, following your dreams, and fulfilling what's inside of you. Don't let society's and other people's expectations of you stop you. There's no need to let anyone dictate or decide your life for you. I'm serious. And the people that have been successful, that have reached their goals, that's what they did. And then they embraced making mistakes as a good thing, as something not just to accept, not just to be okay with, but to fall in love with messing up. They're a part of life. When things don't go as planned, it can be easy to be upset. But the only way for you to learn, for you to grow, for you to reach your goals is to make mistakes. The only way for you to reach greatness is to stop trying to be perfect all the time, to start taking imperfect action and be okay with things failing. And life is far more fulfilling when we embrace making mistakes and we love them and we love the process of it to grow every step of the way. Anybody that you know that has ever reached their goals, a goal that you might have, embraced making mistakes as part of the process. And then the third thing is they didn't give up. When they made mistakes, when they fell flat, when they had all the opinions of everybody around them, their friends, their family, their spouse, you name it, whatever, they didn't stop. They didn't let it be a stop sign in their life. They kept moving forward. And it takes perseverance and dedication for you to achieve success. It's normal to get discouraged. It's natural to get discouraged when things don't go your way. But remember that every step that you fall back, or 10 steps along the journey, is an opportunity in front of you. And so keep moving forward and keep developing that perseverance. You might fail 100 times along the way, but it's worth fighting for the future that you're creating for yourself and for your family. Don't let other people's expectations of you decide your future for you. Don't allow things not going how you think they should to keep you stuck. And become okay with things not going how you think they should. Learn to accept it. Learn relentless acceptance. Learn to accept how other people are. Learn to accept yourself for where you're at right now. Listen, you can't grow unless you accept yourself. Somebody who wants to lose weight has to accept the fact that they need to lose weight, or they're not going to. They're living in denial. You have to be realistic. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with the process, where you're at, where you're going, what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish. And don't allow what's happening in your life to stop you. Don't allow what you hear from your friends or from your family to stop you. Don't allow what it feels like along the way, could be the scariest thing you ever did, to stop you. Could you mess up and make a big mistake? Yeah, actually, you probably will. See, that's the thing. We got to be realistic about that. We have to accept that along the journey to reach our goals, we are probably going to mess up and fall flat along the way. And that's a good thing. That's part of the process. So if you can embrace these three things, you stop worrying about what other people are thinking about you. You don't let other people's opinions or expectations keep you from doing what you need to do in your life, in your business, to go after those goals that you have. Yes, do we care about other people? Do we have kindness? I'm not talking about narcissism here. I'm not talking about being an asshole. I'm not talking about bulldozing over people and forcing our self on them. Whenever I say this, people flip it around and assume that that's what I mean. That is the dead opposite of what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that you accept other people have their opinions and you have yours, and you're going to trust yourself and do what's best for you. And then have wise counsel, have mentors, have coaches, have people in your life that have walked the journey, that have done what you've tried to accomplish. Listen, if somebody has accomplished what I want, and not just wealth, by the way, like they've done what I want to do. Not just that they've made a lot of money, because honestly, a lot of people that have made a lot of money did so by getting lucky, especially if it's under $10 million. The person that I want to listen to is somebody that has taken the hits, been knocked down, isn't afraid of how they look to other people, and keeps going along the way. Somebody that has walked the journey that you're walking down. Somebody that had to deal with the issues that you're dealing with. Think about your life story for a second. Think about your life experiences, like the timeline of your life for the last 10 years. Do you know somebody that had to walk that similar journey, but is further ahead towards the goal that you have than you are? That's a person to seek out and ask for some mentorship from. That's a person who can help you along the way. Everybody else, you can accept, you can love them, you can honor their opinion, but you don't have to listen. You don't have to take it. It's not disrespectful to not listen to people's opinions. Many of us are taught in our lives that we're supposed to always do what other people tell us to do, and we're always supposed to submit to what other people's expectations of us are. You know, there's an expectation for me to be kind to people, to love people. Like that's not what I'm talking about, expectations. I'm talking about the expectations of, well, you were supposed to become a doctor, and then we were supposed to move to Idaho, but you decided to build this business. And so there was an expectation that you moved to Idaho for your family, but you decided to stay in Austin and build a business. And the family in Idaho is disappointed because you didn't meet their expectations because you did something that was better for your family. That's what I'm talking about. Don't allow other people's expectations of what they think you should do in life stop you from doing what's best for you and your family. Okay? And embrace making mistakes. That's one of the hardest ones, especially if you're a perfectionist. I've only gotten this one recently, and I realize it's more than just, oh, it's okay if I mess up. It's that I'm seeking out mess ups. I'm trying to find the holes. I'm trying to find the cracks along the way so that I can shore them up and fix them. Trying to find the things that I need to work on up here, the ways that I interact with people, the ways that I communicate, that maybe I have diarrhea of the mouth over here and I need to fix that over here and learn to communicate better so that people understand me better. You get it? How many of you guys can relate with that? Embrace the fact that you're not ever going to do anything perfect, and so that's perfect. Give it your best shot. Operate with excellence. I'm not talking about being irresponsible or undisciplined. Listen, you need discipline. You need to be responsible. You're responsible for how your life is right now. What happened to you wasn't your fault, but you're responsible to create the life that you want, 100%. And so when you can own that responsibility, you enjoy making mistakes, messing up, and learning along the way. Because ultimately, you know that you trust the process. It's not about the end result. It's not about this Disneyland place off in the future that you're trying to get to, a destination. Your goal, you're actually just pulling that goal into your present reality. And that goal becomes a new starting place for the next goal. And the next goal. And the next goal that you have. And you keep moving forward. You keep getting up again. You keep rising back up. When life has knocked and beat you down to the core, you keep getting back up again. And you keep moving forward. My friends, those are the 3 steps to reaching every goal that you have right now. If you can do that, if you can strive for excellence but not perfection. Listen, Tom Brady doesn't make every throw he makes in the NFL, and he's the greatest quarterback of all time. Could you imagine if he stopped throwing a football because he missed his throws? Like, it sounds kind of silly. Yeah, that's how I see a lot of people in business are. They stop taking their shots because they missed a throw once. Okay. A lot of people in business, it takes them 10 years to reach their goals. You've been at it for 10 years? Maybe you have. Have you been doing the same thing for 10 years? Maybe you should try something different. Maybe there's some other skills you need to learn along the way to reach those goals. So if you have a goal, if you're trying to take your life to the next level, to do something, to live something, to have something that you've never experienced before, you're going to have to embrace these 3 things. Not holding on to worrying about others' opinions of you, what they think about you, how you look to others. Listen, you're going to get a lot of negative opinions when you make a bunch of mistakes. So you might as well own it. And enjoy and embrace making those mistakes to keep moving forward and keep taking the hits, to keep getting knocked down, to keep going after it. Everybody who I know that has ever been successful did this. And everybody who doesn't, avoids it, tries to find a shortcut around these 3 things that I just mentioned. It's like an entry fee almost to success a little bit. It's like the price of admission to our goals is these 3 things. You got to be willing to pay the price. That's the price right there. Is you keep going, you become okay with making mistakes, you embrace them, you stop worrying what other people think about you, and you just go after it with everything you got. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to do that this week? Why or why not? Answer that for yourself. Honestly. Answer for yourself. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to risk? What risks are you willing to take, and why are you not willing to take those risks? These are questions we got to ask ourselves. I ask myself that every single day. Like, why am I not willing to do X, Y, Z? And then I realize there's many times it's tied to either an irrational fear that I have. If it's a fear, I'll usually talk to my therapist about it, and we'll process through it. Almost always tied to some childhood trauma. And then we process through it, and then it's no longer an issue. And it's like, whoa, that's awesome. That's very real. We have these beliefs that come in of how we were raised and all this. I was raised to always be a good boy and never upset anybody. Always do what you should at all times. Yeah, that's not how life works. That's not how success works. That's not what's going to take us to the next level. That's not what's going to take you to where you need to go in life. And so listen, if you're somebody that has a goal, if you have a dream, if you have a vision for your life, what are you waiting for? Answer that truly, honestly. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for to change in your life? That thing is not going to change until you change yourself, your beliefs, your decisions, your actions. There's only a few instances where you can, quote unquote, wait. Let's say you're on probation. Been there. in jail, been there. Have contractual obligations, been there. And so you have to wait a time period for something to expire before you're legally allowed to do something. Those are literally the only things that extenuating circumstances outside of this. For everybody else, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to get over those excuses. You're going to have to break past those reasons that you tell yourself that you can't. And start to realize that there's only one person that can decide whether you can or not. And that one person, up to this moment in time, has been choosing not to. And that same person can choose and decide to change their life. And that person is you. What are you going to choose this week, this month, to do different? I'm not talking this year. I'm talking this month. What are you going to do in the next 7 days to move things forward for you? In a big way. Like not just tiny incremental, like little stuff. I'm talking like what's a big shift that you can make this week in your life? Or why are you not willing to make that shift? That's a better question. If you can answer that, it unlocks so many doors and opportunities for you, because then that creates a dialogue, that creates a conversation with yourself. You can have it with a coach, with a mentor, with somebody to help you along the way. And listen, if you're somebody that is building a business, I've helped coach hundreds of people before. I've helped build companies to tens of millions of dollars online. We continue every single week to work with people, whether they're just getting started, all the way up to multimillionaires, people that have started and built billion-dollar companies we work with, or the person who just has an idea, they're not even sure what to do. So if you're somebody that has a goal in business and you need some mentorship and coaching on what are the steps along the way to get to that next level, you can schedule a free 45-minute call with me on my website, jeremiahkrakowski.com. If you've never purchased coaching with me before, listen, I can't offer these like unlimited free 45-minute calls, but I will do one free 45-minute call with you if you haven't done one with me before. And we can talk about your business. We can really go to work. We can really identify, okay, what needs to shift? What needs to change? I was on a great call with a lady, 2 great calls with a lady yesterday and the day before. I got another one tomorrow, 45-minute call. Great product, but the messaging was off. And we identified that, what needed to change in the messaging, and maybe the perspective that needed to change and who she needed to talk to get that messaging down pat. And she's off running. It's great. It's awesome. If you're somebody that has a business and you need help building your business and getting more sales online, or just want to know where to start to go to the next level, schedule that call with me on my website, jeremiahkrakowski.com/free call. Keep listening to this podcast, the Grow Your Life podcast. We got over 123 episodes now of the podcast. And I think I'm gonna keep broadcasting these live while I record them. This was fun. This was fun to go live, to know that I had a kind of a live audience while I was recording this. Check out last week's episode of the podcast, where we talked about where to start to build your brand. Week before that, major changes to video on social media to grow your brand. Week before that, the best sales offers that are converting. Week before that, making sales take small risks. Before that, using AI to write blog posts. Mastering your messaging. Getting thousands of paying customers to work with you while your Facebook ads aren't working. So there's all these different topics on the blog, on the podcast that can help you get some traction, get some momentum in your business. That's what I want. Why do I do this? Because I'm committed to helping people get more results and make more sales in their business. If I can help you do that, it helps me win. So check out those podcast episodes. Schedule a free call with me. We'll talk soon, everybody. Have a good one. Grow your life.